A very good morning to everyone. This is your mathematics class. As you know, in the previous class we have completed exercise 11.1 and today we will learn about some basic formulas and their proofs of and these formulas are completely related to your exercise 11.2. That means your exercise 11.2 is completely based on these formulas. So this video is again on mensuration, and today we will start our today's class with the topic area of trapezium. I told you about the area. What is the area? See, this is a square and we have to find the area of the square. Then this entire part is the area of the square. Similarly, if we need to find out the area of the trapezium, then suppose this is a trapezium and we have to find out the area of, means we have to find the entire space of this trapezium, which is called area. So see the proof of area of trapezium that is given in your book. See, this is the proof of the area of trapezium, but you do not need to confuse by seeing this proof. I tell you the simpler way to prove this formula. See, you need to find out the area of the trapezium. The area of trapezium. If you need to find out the area of trapezium, then obviously you have to draw a trapezium. Suppose this is the trapezium. This is the trapezium. And if you want to find out the area of the trapezium, then you have to construct some things in this shape. See, first of all draw a trapezium, and after that you need to construct some diagonals in this trapezium. Suppose this is the height. This is the height of this trapezium, and this is also the height of this trapezium. Okay, now named it as A, B, C and D. Now this is the trapezium named as A, B, C, D, and we divide it into three parts. You must see that this trapezium has been divided into three parts. The first one is triangle AB, named it as E and it as F. Now the first part is the triangle ABE, and the second part of this trapezium is triangle DFC, and the third part of this trapezium which has been divided, that is AEFD, which is the rectangle. You must see it is the rectangle. So as you can see, there are three parts in this trapezium, so you can find out the area of the triangle easily, and as well as area of the rectangle easily. So you can find out the area of this triangle ABE and the area of this triangle DFC and the area of this rectangle AEFD, and you can add all these areas, and in this way you can find out the whole area of the trapezium ABCD. See the see the proof of this area of trapezium. See, this trapezium is divided into three parts. The first one is triangle ABE, and the second one is triangle DFC, and the third one is rectangle AEFD. Now firstly we will find out the area of this triangle ABE. Now remember, what is the formula for area of the triangle? Half into base into height. That means 1/2 multiplied by base multiplied by height. As you can see that this is the height, because this is the perpendicular, so this is the height, and we can name it as h. If this height is h, then this height will also be h. Okay, now if you need to find out the area of the triangle ABE, then you have to apply the formula half multiply by base. What is base? Obviously this is the base. This perpendicular falls on the line BE. That means this is the base. So base, that means BE, multiply by height, that means AE. You can put the value half multiply by BE multiply by AE is H. So you can put H at the place of AB. Similarly, you can find out the area of the next triangle, which is triangle DFC. This is equal to half multiply by, again base is CF and height is DF and DF is H. So you can put H at the place of DF. Now this is the equation 1. This is the equation 2. And similarly, you can find out the area of the rectangle AEFD. This is the rectangle, and area of the rectangle is length multiplied by breadth. So if this side is A, then this side will also A, because in the rectangle opposite sides are equal. So you can multiply A multiply by H. A multiply by H. Okay, because if this is the breadth and this is the length, then length multiply by breadth, that means A multiply by H. This was the area of the triangle, and this is the equation number 3. Now you have found the area of the triangle ABE and area of the triangle DFC and the area of the rectangle AEFD. That means you have found the area of all these three parts. Now you can add all these three equations, which are the area of these parts, and you can add them, and in this way you can find the area of the whole trapezium. So for that you have to write area of trapezium. Area of trapezium. For that you have to add equation 1, equation 2 and equation 3. The equation 1 is half multiply by BE multiply by H plus half multiply by CF multiply by H plus A multiply by H. Now as you can see that the first term is means the first expression is containing half and the second term is containing half. So you can take out common factor as 1 upon 2. So when you take common means when you take 1 by 2 as a common factor, then inside you will left with BE multiply by H, and when you take half as a common factor from this term, then obviously this half is as you can you have taken this half as common factor. Now you are left with CF multiply by H. Now you can see here is no common factor, means here half is missing, means 1 by 2 is missing, which is your common factor. So basically we take half, means we take common by dividing. Means if we want to take common, if we want to this half as common factor, then we have to divide this term, means this expression, by 1 by 2, and when we divide this term by 1 by 2, then obviously we will find BE into H. So if here half is missing, then we have to multiply, because the common factor is in the, means this common factor is in the division form. So for that here 1 by 2 is missing, then we have to multiply by 2. So this will be 2 multiply by A multiply by H. Now as you can see that H is also a common factor, so we can take out H as a common factor. So now you are left with 1 upon 2 H bracket BE multiply by CF multiply by 2A. Now see BE, CF and 2A. This is the line BE. this is the line BE, this is the line CF, and this is the line A. Okay, now when you add BE, A, that means EF and CF. Now by adding all these all three parts of this line, then you will get the total line as BC. Obviously this full line. So you can write BC at the place of BE, A and FC. See, you can write half multiply by H multiply by, you can write BC at the place of BE, CF and 2A. Sorry, first of all you need to divide, means you need to divide this into two parts, means BE multiply by CF multiply by, sorry, this is the plus, BE plus CF plus A plus A. Okay, now this BE, CF and A is BC, so you can write it as half H. At the place of BE, CF and A you can write BC plus, now you are left with A. Now you can put the value of A. What is the value of A? AD. Okay, AD is also A, so you can write AD at the place of A, and you are left with half multiply by H BC plus AD. So simply from here you will get half multiply by height, means 1 upon 2 multiply by height multiply by BC plus AD. Now see, what is BC and what is AD? This is BC and this is AD, which are the parallel sides of this trapezium. As you know, there are two sides, means in the trapezium these two sides are always parallel to each other. That means BC and AD are parallel to each other, and we have the sum of BC and AD. So in the simplest way we can say that area of trapezium is equal to half multiply by height multiply by sum of the sides of the means sum of the parallel sides. So this is the formula for area of trapezium. Whole of you understand this formula, and you will try the questions that are based on this formula. Again I am saying the formula for the area of trapezium is 1 upon 2 multiply by height multiply by sum of parallel sides, sum of parallel sides, not non-parallel sides, sum of parallel sides. Hope you all understand about this, means all these things are clear to you. Let us move towards the next formula, which is the area of general quadrilateral. So as you know, in the quadrilateral you have four sides. So this you can prove this formula area of general quadrilateral by splitting the quadrilateral into two triangles by the help of the diagonal. See, you can see here, this is the quadrilateral. See, I draw it. This is the quadrilateral A, B, C, D, and you draw a diagonal AC, that means from the vertex A to the vertex C. This is the diagonal AC. Now you can see this diagonal AC is dividing this quadrilateral into two triangles. The first triangle is ABC and the second triangle is ADC. Okay, this splitting method of the quadrilateral into triangles is called triangulation. So this diagonal AC is dividing this quadrilateral into two triangles. The first one is ABC and the second one is ADC. So you know the formula for the area of the triangle, that is half into base into height. So you can find out the area of the whole quadrilateral ABCD by adding the area of these two triangles. So first of all you have to find out the area of these two triangles. Okay, the first one is ABC, and you know the area of the means the formula for the area of the triangle is half into base into height, and here height is missing. So for that you have to draw a perpendicular on the diagonal AC from the vertex B. See here, from the vertex B there is a perpendicular, that is H1, on the diagonal AC. So that means this perpendicular is falls on the diagonal AC from the vertex B. That means this perpendicular is the height and this diagonal AC is the base. So area of the triangle ABC is half into base, that means AC, multiplied by height, that is H1. So half into base into height, that means half multiplied by AC multiplied by H1. And the area of the triangle ADC, that means that means this triangle will also, you can see that height, that means H2 is perpendicular, that is falls on the diagonal AC from the vertex D. That means again AC will be the base and H2 will be the height for the triangle ADC. So it will be half multiplied by AC multiplied by H2. That means AC is the diagonal, AC is the base and H2 is the height for the triangle ADC. So as I told you that you can find out the area of the quadrilateral ABCD by adding the area of these two triangles. So you need to add these two areas. That means half AC multiplied by H1 plus half multiplied by AC multiplied by H2. From here you can see that half and AC is a common factor, so you can take out half AC as a common factor, so it will be half AC. Half AC multiplied by, now you are left with H1 and H2. Half AC is gone away as a common factor, and also from there you have taken out half as AC as a common factor. Now here you are left with H1 and here you are left with H2, and there is a positive sign between these two H1, between these two heights. So you have to add H1 and H2. So you are left with half AC multiplied by H1 plus H2. Now see, AC is the diagonal of this quadrilateral. AC is the diagonal of this quadrilateral. So you can write D at the place of AC. This D is representing that this is the diagonal of this quadrilateral. So you can write it as half multiplied by diagonal multiplied by sum of the heights. So this is the formula for area of general quadrilateral, that is half multiplied by diagonal multiplied by sum of the heights. So you can do, means you can solve the questions that are based on the area of general quadrilateral by the help of this formula, that is half multiplied by diagonal multiplied by sum of the heights. There is a next type of quadrilateral which is a special type of special quadrilateral. So you can find out the area of special quadrilateral in the way that I will tell you. See, for the special quadrilateral we are taking the example of rhombus. As you know, in rhombus all the sides are equal, but not all the angles are of 90 degree. If all the angles are of 90 degree and all the sides are equal, then it is the case of the square. But here you have all the sides are equal, not all the angles are equal, so this is the rhombus. And you have to find out the area of this rhombus. Suppose this is a rhombus ABC D, and you will draw the diagonals AC. Firstly you will draw the diagonal only AC, B, and this is D. Now again you can see that this rhombus has been divided into two triangular, that means this is also based on the triangulation, and so this rhombus has been divided into two triangles, that is ABC and ADC. Again you can apply the formula for the area of the triangle, for the triangle ADC and triangle ABC. For that you know that the area of the triangle is half into base into height. Again you need the height, so you need to draw the height. See, for that you have to draw a diagonal BD. Okay, you have to draw the diagonal BD, and I hope you remember the properties of the rhombus. The first one is all the sides are equal, and the second one is diagonals are perpendicular bisector of each other. Diagonals are perpendicular bisector of each other. That means these are the diagonals AC and BD. So that means you can say that this diagonal BD is perpendicular on the diagonal AC. So all these four triangles are of the 90 degree because these are the perpendiculars. So now you can find out the area of the triangles easily, because now you have height as well as base. So again in the case of triangle ADC, the height is OD and the base is AC. So you will have half multiplied by AC multiplied by OD. And in the case of triangle ABC, height is OB and the base is AC. So half multiplied by AC, that is the base, multiplied by OB, that is the perpendicular, means you can say this is the height, also this is the height. So you will have half multiplied by AC multiplied by OB. Again you must see that half AC is a common factor. So you can take out half AC as a common factor from both these expressions. So half AC is a common factor and you are left with OD plus OB inside the brackets, because there is a positive sign between these two heights. So again OD plus OB. So again you can see that AC is the diagonal, so you can put AC, you can put D at the place of AC. Now OD plus OB, OD plus OB, that means OD and OB together makes BD, because OD plus OB is equal to BD, which is the second diagonal of this quadrilateral, that means which is the second diagonal of this rhombus. So obviously when we find AC, half AC multiplied by BD, this is AC and this OD plus OB is BD. This is the diagonal, also this is the diagonal, but these diagonals are different, so we named it as diagonal 1 and diagonal 2. So D1 and D2. So you will have half multiplied by D1 multiplied by D2, where D1 and D2 are the diagonals. D1 is the AC and D2 is the BD. So this is the formula for the area of special quadrilateral. If in this case you have if you have a case of square, then you know that in the square, if you will you will have square at the place of rhombus, then also here you will draw the diagonals of the rhombus A, B, C, D. So for that you need to use the properties of this square. As you know, the properties of the first property of the square is all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal. The second property is diagonals bisect each other at right angle, and the third property is diagonals are equal. So in that case, diagonals, that means AC will be equal to BD. In the case of square, AC will be equal to BD because diagonals are equal. And if the diagonals are equal, then you know the formula is half into D1 into D2, and that means half multiplied by AC multiplied by BD. So you can put the values. AC is equal to BD, so you can put half into AC into AC. This will be half multiplied by D1 D square. So the area of the square, means area of the quadrilateral in the case of square, will be half multiplied by D square. Hope all of you understand all these formulas, and if you have any problem regarding any formula and any proof of any formula, then you can message me and ask. There is one more left, that is area of polygon. So area of polygon, for this you can take the you can take the help of these two You can take the help of these two diagrams. So we split the quadrilateral into triangles and find its area, and in the similar way we can add the areas of the we can find out the areas of the different shapes in the present in the diagram and add them, and in this way we can find out the area of that polygon. See the example. Here is A, B, C, D, E. This is the diagram. So this is the height. So for that you can see that this diagram is divided. This diagram is dividing into different parts. The first one is the triangle ABC, the second one is the triangle ADC, and the third one is the triangle ADE. So you can find out the area of these three triangles and you can add them, and in this way you can find the area of this polygon. So for that you have to find out the area of ABC and area of ADC and area of ADE, and also you have drawn the heights for these three triangles. The first one is the height H1, the second one is the height H2, and the third one is the height H3. So you can apply the formula of the area of the triangles for these three triangles, that is half into base into height, and after finding out the formulas, means after finding out the areas of these three triangles, you can add all the areas of the three triangles, and in this way you can find out the area of this polygon. In the similar way you can find out the area of this polygon also. This is the first triangle, that is ABF. This is the second triangle, that is CDG, and this is the third triangle, which is ADE. And there is one more shape in this diagram, which is trapezium. That means BFGC is the trapezium. So for that you have to find out the area of this triangle ABF, area of this triangle CDG, and area of this triangle AED, and area of this trapezium BFGC. And after finding out the areas of these three triangles and one trapezium, you can add them, and in this way you can find out the area of this polygon also. So area of polygon, there is no particular formula for the area of the polygon. You can find out the area of polygon by adding the different areas, different areas of the shapes that appear in that diagram. For example, you have this pentagon. I hope all of you understand all these formulas, and if you have again I am saying, if you have any problem regarding any formula and any proof, then you can message me and ask. And I want to say one more thing, that your exercise 11.2 is completely based on these formulas, so you can try the questions of the exercise 11.2 by taking the help of these formulas. You can simply use the formulas to solve the questions of exercise 11.2. So try all these questions, and you do not need to do the proof of all these formulas in your fair notebook. You can write only the formula. You can write only the formula in your fair notebook. Means you can write these four formulas in your fair notebook.